I thought it worked really well what we did last week, where we had basically our core plays, and then we built a lineup around that with the other two drafting. So I think we'll do that again. We mentioned it at the review show if you guys haven't checked that out. And again, if you'd be so kind to like and subscribe just on your way in or way out, it really does mean a lot. We were talking a little bit pre-show, like this is just kind of a gut feeling, kind of. We've seen these teams now. We're seeing them at their maximum, so maybe there's some edges. Like, is Kansas City going to pass a little bit more? Are they going to use their better plays? Are the veterans going to play more potentially? But I do think there is ways to make mistakes. And so this week, I think it's really about not making those mistakes. And like that should be the main focus. Like I feel like on this kind of slate, you've got to eat the chalk. So you just don't want to go too crazy with your outside the box thinking, or you don't want to eat all the chalk. So I feel like there's ways to do it. And as long as you can build a smart lineup, I think that's the way to go about it. Any initial thoughts before we start?
I kind of like the fact that they did split the games a little. Like, I know it's 1 seed, 2 seed, 2 seed, but I like the way it ended up playing out. Like, we have some good games going into this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, preliminary, I think that Washington-Detroit game, the one in the Dome, has the most potential to just be crazy, if anything. I think people are going to think it's Philly and the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
But if Washington is just efficient, Detroit will just keep scoring, and we could get like a 40-28, 40-30 game. Easy.
I hope not. I bet the under.
Oh.
I just think that
I'm not saying that will happen, because it's also a rookie quarterback's first.
Yeah.
Not his first playoff game, but first real big play. You get the divisional round. Ooh, you want a wild card game? Okay, nice.
Mm-hmm. I just think 55.5 is too much for a playoff game where both teams are set to prove something. And this is an under talked about topic. Both coaches like to go for it on fourth down, so they might leave points on the table. So that's why I bet the under. If both coaches are unwilling to take field goals, there's a big difference there. Now, obviously, if they convert it at such a rate, then I might be in trouble. But that's why I like the bet. Donnie, what was your initial thoughts? Anything?
Honestly, I really love this week. I feel like there's a lot of places to go right, a lot of value. So I'm very excited about this weekend.
Yeah, we talked a little bit off air too. You seem a lot more you like the Rams. I think that's a game they could go under own. So if you guys are ready, we'll get into the lineup builder show. Did any of you have a Pacific core that you wanted to start with right away?
I have my core 3 if you guys don't.
You can start with yours. I think I have a 3, but I only have a preliminary look at the slate right now. I'm kind of late going into football for tomorrow.
And it's just got to be 3 ideas. It doesn't even have to correlate, just the 3.
No, I know. It's what are 3 good plays that I'm thinking about? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I am just gonna, I'm gonna kind of mess with the salary here. You guys are gonna have to find your values, but I'm gonna throw in what could be the 3 guys who could easily give you 40. Give me Allen, give me Barkley, give me Henry.
I like the idea of it because you're just saying give me the floor and then build around it. So you had Allen, Henry, and then Barkley?
Yep.
So we're paying up for both running backs. Right there, I think you'll be different.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's just the allocation of points. When most people say oh, well, if I could have 2, high-priced guys in a lineup, they're going to go with a running back and a wide receiver, just because I think they'll think it makes sense. But I kind of like this, Jim. And okay, we got to save some money, but I think we can do it.
All right, Logan, I will cede to you. You put the first pick in. Who's the first guy you want to add around this core?
So the best play on the board, given the value that we got to go for here, Kansas City is really good against number 1 wide receivers. So I think they will limit Nico Collins. They also got their number one cornerback. I forget the name, but he's been injured. Now he's going to play limited probably, but he's coming back. Like I said, they've been really good against number one wide receivers. So I want John Mechie, who's coming off of 8 targets, and now Johnson is gone. So like he got 8 targets with Johnson on the roster. Now maybe Johnson didn't play as much as we were hoping, but he was still part of that team. He's now gone. So I want John.
All right. That gives us a value. There's value in other spots too, so like we can see.
There's always the double tight end too. So like there's always ways to save money.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't want to save money.
It's true.
Like for realsy, sometimes you don't. Now, personally, I think if we're going to do this core, I want a Buffalo pass catcher.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure who I like. Because like I would have totally just played Matt Collins if you wouldn't have played Mechie and gotten us another 3K value. But I think I just go with Shakir at 5K because he's the most consistent guy. Mm-hmm. So let's put him in.
I know David and Pat were just on a live show, and they were talking about how they like Matt Collins as the bring back for Josh Allen stacks. Mm-hmm. You want to go Shakir?
I'll go Shakir. He's at least consistent.
I do think he'll
have a breakout, play-out game.
I don't know. We're gonna put it to the test because everyone thinks this Buffalo-Baltimore game is going to be high owned, but I found that the PMR game, the like last game of the slate, usually goes under owned relative to expectations. So it'll be an interesting test this week.
Agreed.
Okay, I'm going to do it because I just think it's a good bring back. I think he's severely underpriced for what we expect for him in the playoffs. And even if he reaches what he normally, like even if he has like his normal role in the offense, I still feel like 5K is too low for the superstar upside of Travis Kelce.
All right.
So I got a little game stack going.
Okay. Well, I'll let you see what you want to do with the last 2 picks here. Because I am going to just plug in the Rams defense.
Rams defense. I do think that's a Donnie, you seem like a guy who would like that pick.
I have not played anything but the Chiefs defense in lineups.
Interesting. I'm going to guess you would have jammed in a Ram by now.
I would assume you're players. Why not the Rams defense? They've been very hot this year. Underrated.
They have been. They've been very good.
Okay. I'm gonna give you the last pick, and it'll be interesting because I'm gonna go with a off the wall pick here, but maybe not off the wall. But give me Tyler Higbee.
Is he playing?
It's awesome.
I think he is
limited on Thursday.
That's scary too much.
Quarter.
He had to go to the hospital.
Like he left the game.
Okay. I'll go likely. We're different
please,
enough.
Please. Like I'll take likely. I'm fine with that. But
I was trying to get cute with the ownership, and I do think maybe I will play some Higbee. But you are right. You probably should wait for the injury
If
report.
I see after like today and tomorrow, or if I see after today that he's good, or maybe in Saturday's walkthrough before Sunday's game.
I'm not against you switching it
okay
later.
Yeah, it's $100 less. If you want to switch it back to Higbee, I'm perfectly fine with that. But I think
I will.
Like if he's declared active, I don't mind you going Higbee over likely. Although, and they're in the Sunday game, so we'll know. You'll know before Higbee plays Philly if you can switch it back. So like it's a solid swap.
And the thing is like maybe he plays but doesn't play very, like because what's the name? Cody Parkinson came in that game and did very well in that second half. Now Higbee came in and was lit that team up, but that was more of a scheme thing. I just think it's a good leverage if he does play.
Last
Right.
pick, 61 that leaves at wide receiver.
Let me
That's
get over
so
to wide
horrible.
receiver.
Oh,
I know.
God, it's so bad. I want $200.
I was trying to give it to you, but Higbee wouldn't even have been enough.
Oh,
Well, we could go down from the Rams, couldn't we?
I'm trying to think. You go to Houston defense? Ugh.
I mean, they won for us last week.
I mean, I'd almost rather play Schultz against Kansas City instead of Likely than play the Houston defense instead of the Rams defense.
Yeah.
Although that would be up to you.
Is Schultz cheaper?
He's 3,300.
Okay,
He's
let's
cheaper
do
than
that.
Higbee.
Down to 33.
I didn't know he was that cheap. That's a good find because I just assumed he was higher.
Yeah, Kansas City hasn't been great against tight ends all year. So, that wouldn't be a horrible play.
No, I'm glad you found it.
If we weren't playing the Rams defense, I would say Goddard or Alcantara or someone from Philly either.
I'll be honest, I would have missed it. That's an adjustment in my personal lineup. I think I got to get more Dalton Schultz in my lineup.
Yeah, if you go Schultz, now we have 63.
So in real time, people saw the value of the show. That's the whole point. We're just trying to talk it through with three guys. I honestly did not know that. That's very valuable.
Now we can play McLaurin because I was okay with JMO, but I'd rather play McLaurin.
McLaurin, okay, yeah. And that's why I was trying to do it with Higbee, and it turns out that Schultz was always the guy staring at us. So the only team we're fading in this lineup is, KC, but we are going with the more popular.
Well, you have Kelsey, don't you?
Oh yeah, we have Kelsey. So there is.
Yeah, we have a Kelsey Mechie mini.
Mm-hmm.
So our Saturday stuff is a Kelsey Mechie mini.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a Kelsey Schultz. Actually, it's a Mechie and Schultz. We could be playing Stroud.
Right.
We've got that little mini game stack, and then a one-off McLaurin, and then everything comes from Sunday.
I do think this is a different lineup. This will have the lowest ownership.
Stack, bring back, good. This is a very solid lineup, actually, construction-wise.
Yeah.
Didn't even realize that.
And a lot of value comes from that Kansas City game. And so since we didn't play the value guys from Kansas City, it's going to automatically make that lineup different. What? Okay. I was like, there's no chance I'll click on the same lineup. Of course I did. So look, another one here. This should be the lineup we need. You got a core covered? Do you want me to go?
No, we'll go with mine. I think I got one. It's going to be start with Jahmyr Gibbs and Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
And Puka Nacua.
Okay.
There we go.
What
you guys are going to do.
Would we consider Terry McLaurin underpriced this week? I mean, we fit him in that last lineup. I was looking at his price and trying to figure it out for myself. Is he
for what he does? Because he's so boomer bust in the offense, and I'm sort of trusting that game to have offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's accurately priced because he can pay off that salary no problem, but he also can just dud you for 12 points.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. He's actually a very good price, but I think there's just some very bad pricing, and then I do.
But I'm betting on that game environment with Gibbs in that, so
All right.
I cannot play McLaurin without a Detroit guy because they're not going to blow people out randomly and all that.
That's fair. Donnie, go ahead. You can start this lineup.
All right. For me, I think it just makes too much sense if we're going to game stack and we have Gibbs. I just want to put Jaden Daniels in there.
Okay. That's interesting. I think this is the first lineup with this new strategy that no one took a quarterback. So this is like, I believe, the first quarterback we get to actually draft.
And Daniels is only 7K. Like, that's pretty good.
I do have a Lions stat on rushing quarterbacks, by the way. They run so much man, and in the way they run their offense, they average 60 yards to rushing quarterbacks. So basically, quarterbacks that are projected to at least have 5 attempts or more, they give up 60 yards on average to. And Daniels is definitely a special kind of case. I mean, I believe in the last game they were running double spies on him to stop his running. So if Glenn just turns his back on Daniels, he could get there by himself. Not that he would need to because we have McLaurin, but let me see. Let's do. Let me get the most explosive line, the one I think goes underappreciated from a receiver. Let me get Jameson Williams.
See, I like this. You're full stacking that game. Lean into it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here, let me look at my stuff for a second.
Well, that's a very good point, though, Gov, because like I was saying, people will be like, oh, we got to get value, or you got to get a price range. But sometimes the way to get different on these like really chalky condensed slates is just to overstack it. It's just to overvalue the outcome you already assume.
You know what? I think this might be the week for him to come out and do something.
Mm-hmm.
We need a cheaper guy that's viable. I don't want you to throw in somebody crazy. So let's go Pacheco.
Pacheco? So you think the workload's going to be there? Because I think that's the only question.
Question is the workload. I wouldn't even be mad if we went with Kareem Hunt, but I don't want to go like Brian Robinson. I don't want to go Eckler.
Mm-hmm. I actually like that he's off the injury report. Now, maybe that's just cosmetic. Maybe that's like a vote of confidence thing. But we do see like a mix-in on an injury report. I think all of them will play, but even like Pacheco and David Montgomery, they're off the injury report. Mixon's on it. I think Pacheco goes sneaky. I really like this, actually.
I have some Pacheco. I have enough where I'm comfortable with I won't play any more of him after this.
Let me go with the obvious one here. Let me plug in the Chiefs defense. I think it makes sense. Go Pacheco and the defense. It correlates a little bit.
But do we have enough now?
Technically, yes.
Technically, yes. Hold on.
How cheap are you going at tight end to let you play any shit receiver?
I am going to look at all the tight ends because I have not scrolled past Schultz. I have no idea what's underneath Schultz.
Parkinson. I mean, I can switch the defense. I didn't realize. I thought they were
hold
3K.
On. Let me check up on Goddard news. I believe Goddard will play, right?
Mm-hmm. It's just an illness. I expect him to play in a playoff game.
Okay.
Dawson Knox.
Theoretically.
Dawson Knox would be the guy, I believe.
Or Brock Wright.
Yeah, let's get Knox in there. I like Buffalo to at least be able to move the ball, and we already have so much of that game.
That leaves you 3,700 for a flex.
I don't like this range.
I guess if you go under it, then I can go up with something else. So
yeah, it's probably likely.
Okay, if you're gonna throw likely in there, how much would that leave me with? Would leave me with 3K?
Yeah.
So what's that?
Nope.
What's that?
2,900 if you got off Knox, so you wouldn't even be able to grab a wide receiver.
I think we should get off the Chiefs defense in this lineup.
Yeah, the most expensive defense probably doesn't do that. Like,
not worth it in this lineup for sure.
What's the cheapest defense you two guys like?
I would go the lowest I'd go is Rams.
Okay.
Then I can get up Knox. Yeah. Switch Knox and likely, I guess.
Well, just play your favorite play at this range now.
Yeah, now you got two new ones, and you've got a little more money. So go back through tight end and play the guy you want, or flex if you want to pick that. 36 to 30, like 3,600 a piece, 36 and 37 works better than 31 and 32.
I would know what I want to do. I'd want to play some Hollywood Brown.
How much is Hollywood?
He's up. He's like 5K. No, he's 4. Oh, yeah, we could go Hollywood. Yeah, let's put Hollywood in there. I like that.
I did that on purpose because I want to show. I want to show Hopkins.
Put another shot guy up. If this lineup's going to have J-Mo and McLaurin, you might as well put another 0 or 12.
Now it probably is just Knox, right?
Yeah, we're in the same range again.
Probably.
Because let's even say Higbee was a sit. Like, I know Parkinson got the touchdown and Stafford. That was obviously a game plan where the Vikings they neglect tight ends the way they blitz. And even then, he still only saw 2 targets. I don't know if he would be a huge part of that offense if Higbee even sat.
No, if we did that, it'd be Davis Allen. He would be the guy I'd want to play.
Right. And I know Dalton Kincaid's there, but like Knox is their tight end. Dalton Kincaid's been more of a
actually
slot.
Like Davis Allen isn't a horrible play. Now I'm thinking about it because like Higbee probably won't play, and they were using him as receiving back right before Higbee came back.
Now I'm not against moving down from Hollywood going to Mechie, and that gives you more if you'd like another tight end other than that.
Well, let's talk through it. Like, who's the tight end that we would want to play then?
That can get you all the way. That can get you all the way up to Kincaid.
Okay. What do you like better? Because it doesn't matter to me. That's a good 2v2.
That is a good 2v2.
I think
Knox Brown.
I think we have enough guys going for a ceiling where we should just take the floor of Mechie and somebody else. That's where I would lean toward, because we already have so much home run hitters. We don't need Hollywood in here as well.
I mean,
so let's do that.
We do need a low-owned guy, and Hollywood might be a low-owned guy. Although I'm not sure how owned other than Gibbs everyone in this lineup really is.
So what do you want to
4,200 or 3,800 Mechie.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking that, like, do we want to go with a Nelson Aguilar, but I don't think you'd want to go that low.
No, he doesn't get much targets right now. Or that gets you up to likely my. You could just one tight end. You have to go to tight end anyway.
I think I will plug in likely.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes more sense.
Yeah, I'm just looking through it. So the only Baltimore guy we got is likely, and then we have no Buffalo guy in this lineup at all.
Nope.
It's interesting, but
basically we have likely Puka, and the Rams defense is all we have from Sunday. Mm-hmm. So like if we're front running after Saturday night, we have a good shot.
This lineup basically is cheering for that over of the Lions and Commanders. Like we're cheering.
I appreciate building my core around that, because that's what I was thinking with that core.
Okay. Is it this middle one or the top one? We'll find out.
That's mine. Yeah.
All right, let me go. My favorite here.
I figured somebody would have a Mahomes.
You know me, I like my stars and scrubs.
Mahomes is just so low price this week. I'm getting a lot of him as well.
So I'm going to go Mahomes and then the two veteran receivers that because of injury. And then, Hopkins was injured too, but then he was traded. I just think that both of them have the potential to have good games, especially given their price.
All right.
I think
I like having one of them, but I'd rather have one of
I
them
know.
than Kelsey.
I know.
Yeah, I would personally change Hopkins to Kelsey in that.
But I also think that's how everyone's going to go with Mahomes.
That's how everyone's.
Mahomes, Kelsey, plus maybe one of these two guys.
That's my exact reason for this core is everyone's going to pick one of them and Mahomes and then do Kelsey. If I pick both of them, you could do Kelsey.
That'd be crazy against Houston, I think.
All right, Donnie, I will cede the first one to you.
I feel like we need to get something from them in here. Just throw Mechie in. He's so low priced. Like,
why is it always Mechie? Just play Mac Hollins.
I don't like Mac Hollins. I don't like Mac
Play
Hollins.
Mac Hollins.
I don't like him. He's not that good.
Play Mac Hollins.
Donnie, do you like shoes? Is that why? Is the whole barefoot?
No, it has nothing to do with the barefoot thing. And just because I'm a shoe guy doesn't mean it's an issue with his bare. I like that he plays into it. I like that he came into the game dressed as Fred Flintstone.
Yeah, I forget which announcer it was. They were showing that Fred Flintstone costume, and the announcer was like, you could tell he was disgusted. He must have been a germaphobe. Like the way he was describing.
Oh, I will say it is pretty gross, like just walking around all the time bare feet. But you know, whatever.
What, does it hurt your fucking feet? Have you done it before?
No,
I walked through the woods barefoot.
I could do it. I could do it and not be bothered. But I think it's gross.
I have iron-plated feet.
For the record, because people do obviously come for the jokes and hilarity, not the DFS content on a show like this, there is a rumor that he does wear shoes in the bathroom. So if anyone was wondering, apparently he does carry around shoes in case he has to use a public restroom. So
I thought it was there. I thought he said he still didn't care.
Oh, maybe he doesn't. I was trying to give him some civility, but maybe not. I don't know. Go ahead.
All right, hold on. I'm just getting this so I can look at it. So, got plenty of money. Gonna be able to do whatever we want. I still kind of like just putting Derrick Henry. Let's give us a late hammer. Henry in the snow in Buffalo. Yeah.
If you had to choose one of them, Barkley or Henry, who would you choose?
Henry.
I agree.
That's
very, very tough for me. That's very tough for me. Henry is so good.
He's so good. I love his frame.
I still think I'd take Barkley. Like, Henry is a big runner.
I think
still gets some speed with that when he gets going.
I think Barkley's a better back, but I'd still rather Henry. I just prefer Henry. He's my style of back. But I'm going to get interesting here, play something we haven't played yet. I wasn't willing to play it last week. Throw in Monty.
David Montgomery? He's saying all the right things. He says he's healthier than he's ever been.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah, like he's saying all those things.
Well, he's hopped up on some shit then.
Yeah. Hey, that's the joke with my inner circle. You know, you guys know I'm a Lions guy. People are like, well, is it good that he says those things, or is it just like performative? And it's like, it's both. I don't know what to expect. I do think it's a good thing he's off the injury report. I do think that matters. So I do think he's healthier than we might have thought.
All right. Gov?
Good Houston stack, got a good Buffalo stack. I think he is going to play. He's in a good spot. Plug in Dallas Goedert.
I like Dallas Goedert. He got there with the touchdown a bit, but like that's why I liked him last week quite a bit, because the touchdown upside's there.
All right, Donnie. I let you go first. Now it's up to you. Do you pick the defense, or do you pick the clearly stud player we're going to have when we play, even if we play the Chiefs defense?
Yeah, I just throw in Saquon. and we still can get off Mechie.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so plug in the Chiefs defense. Well, no. Yeah, plug in the Chiefs defense. Let's just do the giant onslaught of the game.
Now take
and
Mechie
then we
out.
both agree, take Mechie out. What do we have? 5,700.
That actually makes sense, though.
Cooper Cup.
Oh,
let's have the conversation.
Let's not have this conversation.
Let's have the conversation.
Actually,
I'd rather play Shakir. I'd rather play Shakir.
You can have this conversation.
I'd rather play Shakir.
Shakir?
I mean,
Shakir.
I just wanted to get under his skin.
To be honest, in this range, I want to play Worthy, but if we're playing Worthy, we need to get rid of one of Hollywood or Hopkins, and I can't touch Logan's core. So maybe the play is Devonta Smith.
I think it's Devonta Smith.
I will not play.
Have the Kansas City and Philly Giga stack?
I will not play Devonta Smith. I'm sorry.
As an unbiased guy who can't influence anyways, I think Smith would be my pick here.
I can't do it. I don't trust Jalen Hurts. And you're getting me 2 pass catchers from Jalen Hurts? No.
Although, Donnie, you know me and you have been the biggest Cup believer, so maybe we're just biased and we want to have.
We want Barkley and Goddard to go off. We do need the game to push. Cup works.
He's been very disappointing. But
he sucked last game.
I don't care.
One target.
No, he didn't play the whole game. To be fair, I will give him that.
Well, I think he did. He just
no,
didn't.
he didn't. If you look at the receiver snap counts,
I'm pretty sure he did.
No, he sat most of that fourth quarter for sure, and some of that third quarter, I believe.
He started to just not get snaps when they got out of hand.
But here's the point, because me and you are obviously we want to have it happen. I mean, I think he still had somewhat of a good year. He was obviously hurt. But how much of that was like smart saving for this round, or do you think he's like hurt and that's all he could give?
I would like to say.
Like, is he hurt right now? Is that's why he's only getting 3 targets a game?
Exactly.
I don't think so. I don't believe it. I will say though, he only played 55% of the snaps last week, which is really low for Cup. That's his season low since he got.
But you also said he sat basically the second half.
Yeah.
So you kept the veteran good. Like,
that's how I feel.
I'll let you take a shot on him, but I'm not trusting Cup.
So, but that's the point, though, Gov. It's like they obviously wanted to rest him because of the injuries and because of the ramp up and protecting him. But is he good enough to even be 5,400 worthy? I think so, but I wish I was more convicted. Really,
I kind of like this lineup.
It's a good lineup, though.
I will be through 3 lineups right there.
Yeah, your core, Logan, ended up having 2 guys from my core. So if both our cores go off, that lineup's gonna smash.
Let's go to the lineups and look at the 3 of them across from each other.
Just hit lineup.
Go to your lineup page.
That's right. Okay.
All right. So that's what we got. The Mahomes is Logan's core.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen is Donnie's core, and the Jaden Daniels is my core.
So the guy we're cheering the most for so far is Travis Kelce.
Well, you can look at your player exposure, right? Because you only have 3 lineups built. So if
I have more than that, I believe.
Oh, okay. I only
that Mahomes one isn't ours. I can see that.
Yeah, this one's mine.
That Mahomes one's is ours down there. Yeah.
I didn't try to personally build a Hopkins or Brown.
I didn't realize our Mahomes lineup is very close to yours because you have Mahomes, Henry, Cup, Monty.
Yeah.
Okay, then. I mean, I'd hope so because it's his core, but.
Yeah. He played Worthy in the other one. I'm like, wait, we didn't have Worthy, and we said we weren't going to play Devonta Smith. What the hell?
well, That's the thing is, I knew if I gave you guys an open range on the Chiefs, you would just plug in Kelsey. But I think a lot of people are going to do that, and for good reason. And we already have Kelsey in the other two. I'm like, this would be a great way. And I just think Dallas Goedert is not that far away from Travis Kelsey. People haven't seen it this year because of the injury. I think I don't know. You think Kelsey's so much better than Dallas Goedert at this point? Like, obviously, they are. But.
I think skill-wise, yeah, maybe not as much as in the past, but
yeah,
Kelsey's just in a much better position offensively.
That's true.
So it's not really about the skill; it's more so about the opportunity you're going to get in your offense. And I don't know how much Goddard's going to get. Now, I will say the snow game should play into more Goddard stuff, but we'll see.
I'm happy that we faded AJ Brown, by the way. I think that's a weird situation. I'm not taking a side whether he's right, Hurts is right, like the offense, but I just don't want to play a whole lot of it because I don't know, it's weird.
I'm not scared off by him not getting targets in 2 games where they've been essentially blowouts. Like, they didn't use their best receiver in blowouts. That doesn't scare me off AJ Brown. I just don't really find myself playing AJ Brown much.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't trust the Eagles' offense, passing-wise. I love the running offense.
I think that's good. That's a good takeaway.
But I'll explain my core a little bit more since we're not only at 36 minutes. The reason for this core, and I said that I had this conversation with my friend, a couple days ago. If I can get Barkley, Henry, and Allen, that's probably one of the few weeks we'll ever be able to get that, even in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. All 3 guys can get you 40. If you get a couple of your other guys right, that is you have such a ceiling now. The floor is awesome with the 3, but you have a great ceiling with the other guys, and especially where you can get Kelsey in it. If Kelsey has a vintage Kelsey week, there's so much that could go right in this, and I don't feel like that's common in lineups.
Gov, why did you pick your core?
Honestly, I'm just starting to go through, and it's like, I know I like this game, and where do I see value in that game? And the glaring, I think Monty will be used more this week. People will trust it, which is going to put Gibbs' ownership lower than it should be. I think McLaurin, after looking at it, it's that looks like a great bring back from Washington if you trust Washington to push this game. And then Puka just looks like a great wide receiver against Philly.
Yeah.
I think
Philly
Puka's better than Quinyon. Yeah, but Quinyon Mitchell and them look better the second half of the year. I think Puka is better than them.
I'll say a play that I think is a bad play, and this you guys can aggregate this if it turns out to be bad. I just think with Mixon being on the injury report, the Texans game script, you could obviously see more of a pass catcher, whether that be Pierce or just a different order of running backs. I did have bet the under on Joe Mixon. DraftKings Sportsbook had it at 77. Receiving and rushing yards. I took the under on 77.5. I think Mixon is the avoid of the superstar upside guys.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm not really thinking about Mixon. That is going to be sneaky. He'll probably be low owned, so yeah, but not against Kansas City's defense. They're coming to play in the playoffs.
We do have a comment to look at, and it's about Pacheco. I will say, the Pacheco thing in that lineup, we're looking. We had so much salary guys, we didn't have much to pick from at that point, and I wanted to put a running back in that I at least somewhat trusted in this lineup, and Pacheco's where I landed at. But I did consider Hunt as well. I just didn't want to play anybody underneath that, but we need to find salary somewhere. That's where I want to find it at running back, where it won't be played much.
Mm-hmm. Another running back that could be useful, it looked really good actually. It looked a lot better than Brian Robinson, was Eckler. So I do think there's some good, cheaper wide. running backs. Now they all have their own like tag. Pacheco is with the injury. Hunt, it's like, oh, he's an aging veteran. How much do they use him? Do they, did he serve his purpose? We saw like earlier this year, Carson Steele came in, served his purpose, looked really good for a couple games.
He did not look good at all. That's why they signed Hunt.
I mean, he fumbled. Once he got that opportunity, he fumbled it away most literally. But there was a couple weeks there where people were diving into the waiver wires trying to sign him. So I do think what I'm saying, though, is I think the Chiefs' backfield, no one knows. And so you just got to trust your gut with whatever you want to believe. I think Pacheco is the most talented. So I am glad that we landed there.
2 more weeks of rest for Pacheco. He was already ramping up somewhat snap-wise. I'll just take the risk on it. You got to get some Kansas City.
Like, could it be 60-40 or something closer to that?
If it gets to maybe 55, 45, I'm happy with it because Pacheco should get at least something.
But, I think that's a good point, though, because think about how many, split backfields are in the playoffs. We got Eckler and Robinson. You got Gibbs and Montgomery. Mixon's hurt right now, so you don't know how much workload he's going to get. There is no really, outside of Barkley, because even Hill.
Henry splits, but yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a smash guarantee. Maybe Kyron. Kyron probably is the guy.
Yeah, Kyron and Barkley are the only guys who don't have a guy. Or even Barkley has some snaps taken from games.
Yeah. I'm actually glad we did that exercise because in my personal, I think that's probably where I will differ from the lineups we built on this show. I think I will have a lot more Kyron than we got to.
I do like Kyron this week. It's just I feel like most of my lineups I'm paying up at running back so much that I'm just paying up to the absolute.
That's the dilemma I have every week. It's kind of been with the decline of Kupp and how they've lowered his price. It's been a little bit different, but it always was which Ram am I going to play? And it's still basically that. Am I going to play Kyron or am I going to play Puka? I'd rather just play Puka.
I think if you get the Rams right, you win this week. You got to make the choice. Where do I play Kyron? Do I sacrifice Kyron for Barkley or Henry? And then do I trust Cooper Kupp? I think that's the decision points.
Yeah, I'm not finding myself getting a bunch of Kyron yet. Of course, I still have a couple days to tweak. Well, not really a couple. I still have a day to tweak. Yeah. I still got a couple things to look at. I probably will enter one more contest, and maybe that will be where I put my Kyron in.
I don't hate it, and I think Donnie, you were high on Barkley. You forced him in, he just worked. But where you had Barkley, I have a lot of Kyron. So I go Henry, Kyron, and a lot of my personal lineups.
Yeah, and I'll probably get to that in one lineup because I do just favor Henry in lineups. I take the 200 less, and they both have the same ceiling in my eyes. So
it is the Jalen Hurts rushing upside thing. People were like, "Oh, are you scared of it?" Yeah, I am. Barkley could beat it, and I'll probably lose maybe if that's the case. But I do think Hurts does cut into his touchdown upside.
It's getting to the point of where it's how sometimes you'll play Lamar and Henry. I think you have to consider that with Hurts and Barkley. It just, especially on these small slates, it kind of just makes sense now. If you were gonna full Eagle stack, which I just don't do because I don't like the Eagles.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I don't think that's a bad idea. The problem is I think Hurts is hurt. I don't think he's gonna be a great passer, but I just feel like this season there's still something wrong with him.
The thing wrong with Hurts is he's Jalen Hurts, and that's who he's always been.
Potentially,
when he was allowed to pass a lot, he had threw 15 interceptions.
So you think it's just the offense?
I think it's just Jalen Hurts is not a great passer, and they're going to lean into their strength because why expose your weakness?
That's a smart move.
Yeah, and a guy like Barkley, who just spent years with the Giants, trying to prove he was a superstar over winning, is going to value just, hey, I don't need this goal line touch. I don't need another touchdown on my statistic. we want to win games. And I think that whole team is bought into that mentality. It's not a bad team mentality, but it does hurt us for fantasy if we're being honest.
Yeah, and honestly, I'd rather them try to win than support our fantasy wise. So
I would not. I mean, they're not going to listen to me, but I play fantasy to try to win. So
I see. There you go. There's somebody who brought it up. I haven't heard many people complaining about that this week, but Barkley easily could have had a huge touchdown last game and he slid. Devonta Smith even got mad at him for sliding. That's just who Barkley is, man. He just wants to get the games over with. He wants to win. He doesn't care. Not that he doesn't care, but he doesn't care about stats.
yeah,
We even saw that before. They offered if he wanted to break his personal rushing record, and he said, no, let the other guy sub in. That's just who he is. And when you play Barkley, you have to understand that Barkley won me a lot of money this year. I had him in my best ball. I don't care, Barkley. If sure, he might have left more points on the board and then I would have liked, but hey, I respect it as a fan of football. I'm a fan of football first.
So you're in the playoffs. He just wants a Super Bowl ring.
yeah.
He's like, I finally got the fuck out of New York. I don't care what happens. Get me a Super Bowl.
Well, I told you my preference. Like, I prefer points, and I prefer my guys that I got on my lineup to score. But I'll tell you what, I tracked our lineups. Like, I'm the tracker of the group. I'm the guy who likes to watch, like, the points go up. At the moment Barkley broke that run, I knew he was going to slide. So I wasn't even mad about it because I'm like, in that game script, in that moment, you played Barkley for a different game script. If you thought he was actually going to score there, I don't think you watched football this year. Like that's not what he's done all year. So I didn't think you were wish casting at that point.
There's just not many players in the NFL who will slide in that situation. It's a very few and far.
No, but he is one of those guys. I think to
what
play.
Are you talking about? We've been bitching about this for 20 years since Maurice Jones-Drew did it.
Yeah,
Took a knee right on the one when he could have scored. Needed that fucking 7 points to right.
Maurice Jones-Drew
arguing about this exact same thing for decades.
Maurice Jones-Drew is one of my favorite players of all time. I used to love Maurice Jones-Drew.
I loved having him on my fantasy team, and of course that shit happens.
But some of it you can be disappointed. You're like, oh, that would have been so many, because it would have been. Barkley would have scored a lot more points, but I don't know. I just expected it. I'm like, yeah, Barkley, he's not going to score here. Like, I'm watching it in real time before he even slides, and I'm like, he's going to slide. And then seconds later, he slid. Like, yeah, not surprised. Speaking of sliding and getting out of here, I think we covered it though. Obviously the divisional round has fewer games, so that's why we were a bit quicker. Hopefully we gave you guys some good content throughout the year. We'll be back. We'll do this again. We got to pay off our spread picks for the
we'll
Super
be here
Bowl
all
captain.
the way through the playoffs until we get until I figure out who our Super Bowl captain will be.
And UFL coming up soon. It's almost here. And in that meantime, we have basketball stuff to look at. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, we're getting in the thick of that. Like, Shea looks good. I'm very surprised about Houston and how good they are with their record, although the talent is there.
The biggest shock for me is the Grizzlies.
Why? What are you shocked at? Is Josh still playing? He's not hurt or in chain? What? Or suspended?
Listen, I didn't expect them to be. They're the 3 seed right now, which I know it's early still, kind of. But that's really good. I thought they'd be a play-in team. I didn't expect this. I'm really impressed.
I feel like they'll drop out in the West.
They might. But
teams like Denver and that are going to get to be the 3 seed.
Denver's starting to pick it up.
OKC, yeah.
Dallas is going to pick it up, I'd imagine.
I think Sacramento might still be a play-in team, but I think they'll be like 8 or 9, not like 10 or 11.
Yeah, Dallas has been extremely hurt too. And the interesting thing about Ja, though, is he's doing exactly the way you would think. He's still like giving you the highlight dunks. I saw, just a couple days ago, he put it on Wemby. So
yeah, that was awesome.
It didn't count, but it was still a hell of a highlight.
Ja's fun, and he said he wasn't going to dunk too much. He has lowered it, but he still has the itch. He still wants to do it.
speaking of itching, good luck to you guys. Hopefully
Let's
things
not
go in
make
your
this a
favor.
full NBA show.
Yeah. Good afternoon, guys. Good night. Good morning. We'll see you later.
Peace out, everyone.